Hello, everybody. Welcome to this Protection Insight podcast. Joining me today is Adam Shipton, who is Head of National Partnerships over at British Friendly. So welcome to the podcast, Adam. How are you?
Thanks, Vincent. Yeah, very good. Thank you. Very good. How yourself?
Really good. Thank you. Really good. Now, today in this podcast, what we're going to talk about, Adam, is Breathing Space. Now, Breathing Space is just one of the products that you have over at British Friendly. So I guess, could you start by just explaining really what Breathing Space is? I guess it's part of the income protection family, but what makes it different really from other income protection plans?
Okay, so first off, I'll just give you a little description about what it actually is. So it's a short-term income protection policy. So at British Friendly, our short-term policies pay out for either 1, 2 or 5 years per claim, depending on obviously what option you select. But the main difference between our Breathing Space plan and your more sort of traditional income protection plans is it's not financially underwritten. So it's not linked to how much somebody earns. So, with your more sort of traditional IP plans, you apply for something and you can cover up to a certain percentage of someone's income, normally somewhere between sort of 60 and 70%. With our Breathing Space plan, we never take that into consideration. So effectively what you do with it, you buy a level of benefit at outset, anywhere up to £15,000 you can cover yourself. And at claim stage, if anybody, was to have a claim, how much that person's earning at that point of time is completely irrelevant with the products. That amount of benefit that they bought originally will pay out. And it's really good for, say, if you've got people that have got sort of variable incomes, or say if you've got somebody who's sort of newly moving from employed to sort of self-employed, and they don't quite know how much money they're going to be earning. That tends to put a bit of a barrier, not only in the customer's mind, but in the advisor's mind, because the advisor's probably sitting there thinking, blimey, I don't know what to do here, because how much level of cover do I give them? I don't want to over-insure them and then it pays out and then they're paying for something that, they're not getting the full level of cover for. But Breathing Space can completely remove those barriers. So it's a really good option for that.
Fantastic. Okay. And you mentioned sort of self-employed and those sorts of clients. I mean, could you categorize typically the kind of people that Breathing Space would really be suitable for, Adam?
Yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, it's suitable for anybody who's got like a variable income, or anybody that will be thinking, actually, I don't know how much I'm going to be earning in the future, for example. So I use the example of newly self-employed. That's one example. But people that work in the gig economy, that is something that is it's really good for your sort of delivery drivers, that sort of things. Taxi drivers, they have fluctuating incomes and things like that. Pretty much anybody who's thinking, actually, I'm really going to struggle to know or evidence exactly how much I'm going to be earning in the future. And like I said, those barriers that are normally created with your sort of more traditional IP plans are completely taken away by Breathing Space. So it is a really good option. And for advisors, it is much more simpler, because in their minds, they're not having to worry about if this person ever claimed, are they going to be in a position where they can evidence exactly how much they're earning with your more sort of traditional IP plans.
Yeah. Okay. And I know sometimes with this sort of arrangement, you sometimes find that you have to use the money for a certain thing, such as pay the mortgage. Can you use the money received from Breathing Space claim for anything, or is there a restriction?
Absolutely, they can literally use it for anything that they want. It doesn't have to be linked to anything in particular. It could be to cover your golf fees, your golf membership fees, if you really wanted to, or it could be to cover mortgage, rent, or school fees. Absolutely anything that's important to that customer, they can use it for. They can use it for that. We don't take that into consideration at all.
Fantastic. Okay. And you mentioned before no financial underwriting, but what sort of financial evidence is actually required? I'm thinking particularly about application stage, but also then at claim stage, Adam.
Yeah, so at application stage, there's no sort of financial underwriting. There's no need to evidence anything at application stage. But at claim stage, with your traditional IP plans, we would be asking for evidence of how much somebody's earning. So that might be pay slips if somebody's employed, or if they're self-employed, you'll be looking at sort of past tax returns and things like that. But with Breathing Space, we will never ask for evidence of how much somebody's earning. It's completely irrelevant, because that's not how the plan works. All we need is evidence that they were working before they become incapacitated. So we still need evidence that they were working, and normally people just send in a bank statement. to evidence that there was money going in, and that should satisfy the claims managers. But just to reiterate the point, we would never ask for evidence of exactly how much somebody's earning because it's completely irrelevant.
So as long as they were working and then became incapacitated, they can make a claim. And
absolutely. But one thing, just to reiterate, it's still medically underwritten. So the policy still has to go through the normal sort of medical underwriting, and whether that's through the full online medical questionnaire, or we've got a telephone interview option that advisors can use as well. So it's still medically underwritten. It's just that financial underwriting aspect is different to your more sort of traditional IP plans.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously this product, Breathing Space, will appear when you source for income protection through Solution Builder. What I'm thinking also, Adam, we're talking an awful lot about added value services these days. So can you tell us what British Friendly offer, if anything?
Yeah, just before I answer that, you made a really good point about showing up on portals, because the Breathing Space plan at the minute only goes up to age 65. So that's the total retirement age. So if you're doing a quote or you're sourcing quotes for anything above 65, Breathing Space won't show. So that's a really important part. If you want to look for Breathing Space, the maximum retirement age is 65. So good point there. Just moving on to your added benefits. So across British Friendly, we've got two products effectively. We've got Protect, which is our traditional one, and we've got Breathing Space that we're talking about today. Doesn't matter what policy you take out, what premium you're paying or anything like that, everybody gets access to our sort of mutual benefits program. And that's really just a show of, the value of membership, of being a member at British Friendly. And the sorts of things you can get access to through the mutual benefits is we break it down into 4 pillars effectively. So there's mutual rewards, which is effectively saving money up and down the high street. There's mutual support, where you can get access to additional sort of medical services, whether that's physio, counselling if you need someone to talk to. There's virtual GP consultations on there, and there's second medical opinion services on there as well, and that's all done through a company called Square Health. There's another section which is all around mutual well-being. So this is basically just all around making sure your mental and physical health is where it should be, and you can get a free health MOT once a year as well, which is great because you can give yourself a little bit of a sense check on, actually, how's my health? Is there any parts of my lifestyle I could change to make it even healthier? And then the final section is around mutual partners. So some companies that we partner with where you can get free wills, discounts on car and van leasing, discounts on travel insurance is on there as well. So everything you can get, you can access straight away. You don't have to be claiming. And the last bit of our sort of added benefits is something called BF Care. So this is where we provide some added support for people that are going through some pretty significant sort of life events. So things like there's death benefit that's built into the product. We've got bereavement benefit in there as well. Terminal illness benefit is added in there. We've even got something called care assistance benefit, which is in there as well. And we do have something which is called recovery support benefit, where effectively when people are making that transition from being off work to going back to work, we provide them with some additional support there financially as well. So there's quite a lot in there. And like I said, it doesn't matter what policy you take out, everybody gets access to those benefits as a British Friendly member.
Yeah, really good to see, Adam. It sounds like we need to do another podcast just to do those benefits justice, really. But that's really good. Really good to give us that overview to Breathing Space, because it's a really good product. It fits a good section of the market. So hopefully advisors who tuned in today have found something useful in here. And obviously what I'd like to say is thanks, Adam, for joining us today, this podcast. Thanks to anyone who's watching. And until next time, it's bye for now.
Thank you very much.